Good evening and welcome inside East Gymnasium here at Fort Lee for a top 25 showdown between number 16th ranked Tenafly, the Tigers, 6-1 on the season, and number 23 Fort Lee, the Bridgemen, 10-3 on the year. Hello everyone, I'm Dan Long, joined alongside by Dimitri Nanis and Renee Manisic. So glad that you could join us here on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. And we're going to be treated to a good one here, a top 25 showdown here in North Jersey between two teams trying to make their way up the PowerPoint rankings in North 1 Group 3. This is going to be a stiff test for Fort Lee, who have been off to an outstanding start to the season, 10 wins in their first 13. They're taking on a red-hot Tenafly team that comes in having won 5 in a row, Fort Lee having won 6 in a row themselves. Fort Lee will be in the home white, Tenafly in the road black. Jeff Kohler, the head coach of Tenafly, Adam Schrager, the head man for Fort Lee. So settle in, fans, for what should be a good one here at East Gymnasium. And we're underway with the opening tip, one backwards by Tenafly. The Tigers will start on offense. John Shelley, the senior guard who averages 15.4 points per game, working around the perimeter. Here's Roberts, the point guard. No-look pass on the baseline. That layup missed inside. Then the ensuing block secured by Geekian. Possession still stays with Tenafly. Good interior defense by Geekian after that initial miss by Rakev. And there's active hands in the passing lane. Knocked away in a deflection. And a turnover produced by Devin Jang. Now here's Isaiah Stang, the leading scorer for Fort Lee. Pulls up from straight away, no good. Garcia trying to tip it to himself. They're going to say last touch off of Tenafly. So an extra possession here on offense for Fort Lee. Had their best game of the season over the weekend, an 83-35 win here at home against Garfield. Their high water mark of points scored in a game this season. Now it's a turnover the other way. Tenafly forcing the turnover. And after the theft, it lays it up and in for John Shelley. Shelley with the first 2 points of the game for either team. Here comes the pressure being displayed by the Tigers. Fort Lee gets it past the timeline. Here's Devin Jang. Jang, who leads Fort Lee with 3-pointers on the season, tried to measure up what would have been his 24th triple of the year. Instead, it's a rebound into the hands of Shelley. Now gets it to Ben Roberts. Inside, nice floater finish inside by Jack Newman. And a quick timeout taken by Coach Schrager and Fort Lee after Tenafly opens things up with the first 4 points of the game with 6:33 remaining here in the first quarter. So Coach Schrager wanted to go over the defensive assignments yet again with his team, taking this early timeout in the contest. Again, as I just mentioned, Fort Lee coming off their season-high 83 points in the win against Garfield. It was the most points scored by Fort Lee since 2017. And for Tenafly, ranked number 16 in the NorthJersey.com top 25. They come in on a 5-game win streak, and in their last 2 games against Northern Valley Old Tappan and Northern Highlands, they have struck for 9 3-pointers in both of those games. They are deadly shooters when given the opportunity. They've done their work inside, though. 4-0 lead, and out of the timeout, we'll see what Fort Lee can do offensively. Ogadegby getting it back from Geekian. Here's Stang in the far side corner. Isaiah Stang, 13.4 points per game to lead the offense for Fort Lee this season. It's been a very balanced offensive attack. Not a big bench for Coach Schrager. He plays primarily 7 guys throughout the course of each game. Ogadegby across the middle, hung in the air, no good. Garcia cleans up the offensive board, but he could not get the layup to fall. Roberts did a nice job of poking it away from Geekian. Now triggering the break instead. Good ball movement. Look at this unselfishness for Tenafly. Rarely touching even the floor. Shelley give and go inside. There's Newman again with the floater finish. He quickly has 4, and it's all Tenafly. 6-0 lead. Dispossessed was Ogadegby. Bounce pass the other way, and it's going to be a layup inside for Shelley. 8-0 lead for Tenafly. All Tigers roaring so far as we're less than 3 minutes into the first quarter of play. Isaiah Stang nearly got his pocket picked. Holds on to the ball. Now getting it up top to Gakian. Working around the perimeter to Ogadegbe. Ogadegbe pulls up from three. And Fort Lee is on the board with the first made three of the game for either team. Bem Ogadegbe with his 10th made three of the season. Cuts the lead down to 5. Roberts across the lane. Good job of weathering the contact and laying it in for Ben Roberts. The senior guard who averages 7.3 assists per game, getting in the scoring category there. Took his defender off the dribble. 10-3 lead. Now Jang off the dribble. He tries his luck at a floater. No good. Shelley with a rebound. Getting it down the floor. Tenafly trying to work quickly there. And it's going to be deflected last touch off of Tenafly, as Riley Benowitz was the last man to touch it, as that possession will go back now to Fort Lee, as they'll redo the inbounds and have the possession upcoming here for the Bridgman. Trailing by 7, 10-3 as we're approaching the midway point of this first quarter of play. Dan Long, so glad that he could join us here on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Nice give and go inside. Garcia fumbled the initial attempt, but then recovered, laid it up and in, and drew the foul. Greg Garcia off a beautiful assist inside from Ogadegbe. And now Garcia with a chance to make it a three-point play. Greg Garcia has been a sensation this year for Coach Schrager, averaging close to a double-double. Garcia missing on the foul shot attempt, though, so he'll settle for the 2. 10-5 lead for Tenafly. Shelley looking to go backdoor for Newman, and Newman lays it in. Tenafly just plays beautiful basketball. The fundamentals on full display here. The unselfish look in the back door, and then Newman already with 6 points in the quarter. Gakian intercepts that one. That might have been initially intended for Jang. Ogadegbe to Jang. To the near side, here's Isaiah Stang. Ogadegbe now. Patient offense being run here by Fort Lee. This is something that we have not really seen all that often so far this year at East Gym here in the home games for Fort Lee, giving up this many points. And another nice dish inside for Greg Garcia. He's got 4 off another assist by Bem Ogadegbe. 12-7, the lead now for Tenafly. Here's another floater, and the floater falls for Riley Benowitz. Benowitz, who averages over 14 points a game, gets his first points of the contest. Ogadegbe stripped on his way up, and they're going to say last touch off of Ogadegbe out of bounds. Possession going back over to Tenafly. This season, I think only one visitor has scored more than 20 points in a first half against Fort Lee's defense that has been so good and so potent here at home. Tenafly is threatening to score at least 20 in the first quarter. Off the three-point miss, here comes Fort Lee in transition as Coach Schrager was sprinting down the sideline himself. Jang off the dribble, tries the dribble drive, but left that bounce pass short at the feet. And that'll turn it over. Roberts running the show here. The cutter inside. Shelley is blocked away by Garcia. Here's Isaiah Stang in the open floor. Xavier Martinez off the bench, no good. Xavier Martinez knocked down 4 threes last game over the weekend against Garfield. Here's Roberts across the middle. Baseline jumper, and that rattles home for Riley Benowitz. Again, there's that hot shooting for Tenafly on full display. They are shooting at a high clip so far here in the first quarter. They've produced 16 points with under 90 seconds now left to go in the quarter. Lead is now grown to 9. First meeting between these teams since 2017. Isaiah Stang from up top. Getting it over to the near side to Jang. Ogadegbe. Good defense here by Tenafly, making everything perimeter based for the Bridgemen. Under a minute now left to go in the first quarter. Jang in the corner. Up top to Isaiah Stang. Stang still scoreless here in the quarter. Ogadegbe, cross-court pass, wide open for three is Jang. No good. Ogadegbe fights for the loose ball inside. The putback is good. Bem Ogadegbe with 5 of Fort Lee's 9 points in the quarter. Bridgman back to within 7, 16-9. We'll see if Coach Kohler will have his side hold for one final shot of the quarter. Getting into the hands of John Shelley. Shelley coming off an 18-point performance in the win against Northern Highlands in their last game. A 65-55 win at home. 3 seconds left to go in the quarter. Behind the back, Shelley with another pass underneath, and no call. Jack Newman was pleading his case, thought that he got fouled on his way up. Instead, it's a clean block given to Greg Garcia. And that will end the first quarter of play, but brilliant execution in the first 8 minutes for Tenafly have given the Tigers a 16-9 advantage after the first quarter of play. Tenafly and Fort Lee have had 2 common opponents this year. Ridgefield Park and Old Tappan, both Fort Lee and Tenafly beating both of those teams. Tenafly is coming in off of that 65-55 win, as I mentioned, against Northern Highlands. They defeated Old Tappan 82-76 on the road prior to that. 5 straight wins on the season for Tenafly, including knocking off another ranked opponent in Demarest. Throughout that stretch, they have been awfully impressive for Coach Kohler, averaging just under 63 points per game this season while only allowing 53. Fort Lee, they've been hanging their hat on their defense this season, and it is a rarity to see so many points giving up in a quarter, certainly here at home too. Giving up 16 points in the first quarter of play for a team that allows only 42 points per game on average. They have won 6 straight games, are 6-2 here at home, and have not lost at home since just after Christmas time when they lost to Kennedy in the Jack Riley Holiday Tournament Final. Ogadegbe now starting things off in the beginning of the second quarter. With the dribble across the lane, kick out to Isaiah Stang, and Stang's 3 rattles in and out. Garcia trying to save it inside the paint, but instead throws it to Tenafly. It's going to be a jump ball, and possession arrow will favor the visiting Tigers. So outside of a 3 by Ogadegbe, Fort Lee has run cold from the perimeter so far in this first half. Tenafly has yet to hit a 3. They've been doing all their damage inside the paint and on the baseline. Off the screen, there's the jumper from the outside by Benowitz. No good, but an offensive rebound taken in by Roberts. Roberts, an exceptional athlete, is committed to play college lacrosse at UMass Lowell. Showing off that athleticism with that play. And now the give and go to the big man down low. Michael Lugello, the 6'8 junior, number 33, skying high for the 2 points. Has the clear size advantage in this game. As Garcia, the tallest Bridgeman, giving up 4 inches. Ogadegbe. Now to Stang. Stang tries to maneuver his way through, but don't count the bucket. That's wiped off with the travel. Traveling the call against Stang, who's had a frustrating beginning to this game. Tenafly really locking down on him defensively. 18-9, the lead for the Tigers. Around the horn. Regev giving it off to Chelly. Chelly with 4 points in the half. Here's Regev from 3, no good. Martinez secures the rebound underneath. Ogadegbe takes his man off the dribble, gets the finger roll, rejected out of bounds by Lugello. Again, Fort Lee is not taking on teams that have the size that the 6'8 junior possesses here on the floor. So that finger roll might work against some of the opponents they've faced this season, not against the Tenafly big man off the bench. Jang being hounded by Roberts. Jang stops on a dime, handing it off to Gakian, now to Stang. Stang, can he get on the board? No good. He's been cold from outside. Another missed three. Now down the other way, Lugello, and one. The big man awarded and rewarded for running the floor. He was contacted as he laid it in. That's 4 points immediately for the 6'8 junior, Mikhail Lugello. Now trying to complete the three-point play, and does. Largest lead of the game now, 21-9 for Tenafly here in the first half. Fort Lee has won 6 in a row coming into this game. Tenafly right behind them, winning 5 in a row. And both teams factor into potential seeding out of this game. A lot of power points on the line for the victor, as both will be in North 1 Group 3. Ogadegbe, no good. Fort Lee really settling for three-point shots, and those shots are just not falling here in the first half. Cross court, wide open three for Tenafly, no good. Inside, but missing the layup that time. Lugello just had it hang on the lip of the rim. But Fort Lee turns it over again. Now a turnover for Tenafly. Here's Devin Jang. Fort Lee just not been able to win in transition so far in this game. Any opportunity to run, great transitional defense on display by Tenafly. Here's Jang. Jang takes his man off the dribble. Now to Isaiah Stang. Stang, who's just, again, been settling from three. Ogadegbe's been the only one who's really been possessing a creativity to try to take his defender off the dribble. That's led to a couple of dish-offs and assists underneath to Garcia. Now Gakian, handing it off for Ogadegbe. Blocked off the baseline, up top to Jang. Jang sets and fires. No good. Tipped out. Jang fouls his own miss. New life on this possession. Ogadegbe getting his dribble swatted away, but Jang recovers. That's the midway point of the second quarter. Jang across the middle, and Jang gets the floater finish. First 2 points of the game for the 5'9 sophomore Devin Jang. Back to a 10-point lead, 21-11 now. Tenafly on top. Jelly giving it inside, and that time another hard foul whistled against Gakian. And for Rafi Gakian, that is going to be foul number 2 of the quarter. Now we'll see if Coach Schrager is going to be sending number 44 to the bench, try to keep him from garnering that third personal foul of the first half. Been a cleanly played half of play between both these teams, only 3 combined fouls, as Lugello knocks down the foul shot. He's got 6 points. He's the high man for Tenafly right now, along with Jack Newman. Scored all 6 of his points in the first quarter. Second foul shot, no good. And it's going to be a foul line violation against Tenafly. So that'll give the possession the other way. No, they're going to say that it was in fact a violation against Fort Lee, so it's going to give Lugello another chance at it. Can he make Fort Lee pay? He can't. No good. Rebound taken in by Ogadegbe. Up the floor now. Tenafly doubling up Fort Lee 22-11. Here's Isaiah Stang. Finally gets on the board as he rattles in the three. Only the second made three of the half for Fort Lee. Bridgman back to within 22-14. And a timeout called for by Jeff Kohler. as he'll want to talk with his team before they run this set on offense with 3:06 remaining in the second quarter of play. Tenafly on top by 8, 22-14, as you're watching this big showdown between these two Big North teams here on Fort Lee's YouTube channel. Tenafly representing the Big North National Division. They sit atop the standings, a perfect 3-0 in divisional play. Above Demarest, Teaneck, Oltapan, Pascack Valley, and Bergenfield. While Fort Lee is the lone unbeaten team in the Big North American Division. The Bridgemen sit atop the standings, 4-0 in the league. Ridgefield Park, Cliffside Park, Dumont, and Dwight Morrow all chasing Fort Lee this season. Coming into this one in power points, Fort Lee came in as the #1 ranked team in North 1 Group 3, while Tenafly not that far behind, number 6. Again, a lot of points on the line, and if you want to be a team that's one of the top seeds and play majority of your time at home, you win one of these games. Nice post move there, not only with the entry pass by Roberts, but then by the finish by Yoa Regev. Regev's first 2 points of the game. He's the leading scorer for Tenafly, averaging just under 19 points a game this season. At 21 to go along with 9 rebounds in the win in the last game against Northern Highlands. Back to a 10-point lead, 24-14, under 2.5 minutes left to go before halftime. Ogadekby in the high post to Garcia, who drops it off for Martinez. Martinez with the left-hand dribble, got it pried away. Here's Stang across the middle. Out to Jang. Jang rattled in and out. Garcia again with the offensive board. Here's Stang for 3. No good. There's a lid on the rim when it comes to three-point shots here in the first half for Fort Lee, but great hustle underneath as now Fort Lee starting to take over on the offensive boards. Greg Garcia has been doing what he's been doing all season long, just being a dynamo on the boards, whether it be defensively or offensively on this end of the floor. Garcia 0 for 1 at the line here today, now 0 for 2. He's got 4 points here in the first half. Tenafly led 16-9 after the first. Lead 24-14 here in the second. Garcia goes 1 of 2 at the line. Give him 5 points in the game. 24-15. Tenafly going right back down quickly. They're in the road, black and orange. Two schools with identical school colors going at it. Fort Lee defending in the white, orange, and black. Regev, and he'll be fouled up top again. Not a lot of whistles in this first half. That's led to the great play so far. Only the third team foul against Fort Lee for Isaiah Sang. That's going to be foul number 1. So Tenafly will inbound it. 1:45 and counting left to go here in our first half of play. Dan Long, so glad he could join us. Oh, what a great backdoor move again. As Chelly, the recipient this time, he's got 6 in the half. Back to a double-digit lead at 11, 26-15. Tenafly really taking apart Fort Lee and their aggressive defense, just going backdoor for a countless number of layups. Contorting the body off balance and missing the shot, Ogadekby. Newman secures the board before he goes out of bounds. Here's Roberts keeping his head up all the way. Getting the ball back to Roberts in the corner. Inside to Newman. Newman off the wrong foot there, rebounded by Garcia. 1 minute remaining in the second quarter. Ogadekby down the floor. Now to Stang. Stang trying to body up Roberts, who was trailing him from behind. He tried to swat the ball away and got called for the reach-in foul. Third team foul against Tenafly. And for Ben Roberts, that's going to be his first personal. 52.1 remaining here in the first half. Inbound is to Garcia, and that's going to be tipped away. Another turnover forced by Tenafly. Coach Kohler, is he going to elect to try to keep for one possession before halftime? His team has only surrendered 15 points so far here in the first half. Fort Lee really disrupted on the offensive end of the floor, while Tenafly has been brilliant in their execution of points here in the first half on offense. Roberts handing it off now to Chelly to the near side. The senior guard watched by the junior Ogadegbe. Under 20 seconds now left to go in the half. Handoff is to Roberts. Roberts will pull it out. Now Jang will follow him. Back to Chelly. 10 seconds remaining. They tried this play in the end of the first quarter. Nearly had a layup produced by Newman underneath. Roberts will pull up from distance, and he'll sink it just before the buzzer sounds for three. Ben Roberts tickling the twine right before halftime. And that'll send Tenafly into the locker room with a 14-point lead at 29-15. And that is the first made three of the half for Tenafly, who have had a dominant performance so far here on the road against Fort Lee. So stick around as we'll head to halftime as you're watching Fort Lee taking on Tenafly in boys basketball here courtesy of the Fort Lee Athletic Department. Welcome back, fans, inside East Gymnasium here at Fort Lee, where we're moments away for the resumption of play in the start of the second half. Where that first half, it was a clinic being put on by Tenafly on both sides of the floor. Tenafly on top of Fort Lee by a score of 29-15. We'll see what type of adjustments have been made by Coach Schrager and Fort Lee, definitely on defense, and how can they get some offense going? They did not have any easy looks and were frigid from outside, making only 2 threes and definitely attempting double digits in that first half. Look at the stats from the first half of play. Some of the leading scorers for Tenafly, they had 3 different players leading the charge with 6 points apiece. John Chelly, Jack Newman, and Mikhail Lugello, each with 6 points each. Ben Roberts' 3 just before the buzzer gave him 5 points in the first half. For Fort Lee, they're being led by 2 scorers with 5 points apiece in the half. Greg Garcia had 5, and Bem Ogadegbe also secured 5 points in that first half. Isaiah Stang held to only 3 points. Again, Fort Lee was being told just to, not being told, but really being goaded into just taking the first 3-point shot that they came across defensively by Tenafly. Tenafly was more than welcome to do that. The Tigers were victimized a couple times in that first quarter when Ogadegbe beat past his initial defender, drew the secondary defender, and then also found Garcia open for a layup inside. Since that point, Tenafly has been solid underneath, just again forcing Fort Lee to just chuck from the outside. And on a night like tonight, where in the first half that 3 ball was not falling for Fort Lee, that's problems. And for Tenafly, they've been patient on offense. They've connected on only 1 3. That was the Roberts triple just before halftime. Other than that, they've been going backdoor with layups, executing to perfection in the half court, and really running their sets beautifully. It's a matchup of Tenafly and Fort Lee here tonight. Fort Lee will start with possession to begin the second half. They're in their home white. Tenafly defending in their road black. Tenafly coming in on 5 straight wins on the season. Fort Lee with 6 straight wins. Here's a long-range 3 well behind the arc to begin the second half, and the 3 no good by Isaiah Stang. So again, Fort Lee settling for a 3 and settling for 1 from well outside too. Trying to feed Shelley inside, but it gets stripped away by Ogadegbe. Jang eventually secures the loose ball. Now we'll see if they can get some momentum here and some movement on offense off the ball. Gakin with a power dribble, kicking out to Jang. Jang telegraphs that pass, stolen away by Roberts. Roberts leading and for his teammate, no good from 3. Offensive rebound by Newman. Here's Roberts, top of the key. He's got the mismatch with Gakin on top of him. Gakin picked up 2 fouls in the second quarter. He's got to be careful here. Roberts with the shake and bake. Leaves it off inside for Newman. Newman, who had that shot falling in the first quarter, could not get that deft touch to fall here to begin the third. Jang inside of the elbow to Gakin. Jang back to Gakin. Gakin is scoreless in this game. Jang held to only 2 points in the first half. Devin Jang averages just around 10 points a game for Fort Lee. Look at this defense, again, positionally where they need to be for Coach Kohler. A long possession here for Fort Lee, trying to get in the scoring category to begin this second half. We're held to only 15 points in the first half of play, one of their lowest scoring halves of the season. Garcia tries the up and under move, misses, but recovers his own miss and lays it in. It's been all about hustle for number 5 in white here tonight. Offensive rebounds aplenty, and that time fouled his own miss on a tough attempt and got Fort Lee their first point. And what a dizzying move there by Roberts, putting the defender in the spin cycle. Roberts with 7 in the game. 31-17, the lead back to 14 for Tenafly. Ranked number 16 in the NorthJersey.com top 25. Gakin handing it off for Jang. Jang from straight away for 3. Brick. But Gakin cleans up the offensive glass for his first 2 points of the game. Fort Lee's best option offensively has just been attacking the boards. Jelly with a handoff and the drive inside, and he'll draw the contact and the foul. We'll see now if it's going to be deemed to be in the act of shooting. And it will be just that case. So a two-shot foul upcoming for John Chelly, the 6-foot senior guard. 23 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists last week against Old Japan. He heads to the line for the first time tonight and swishes home the first attempt. He's got 7 in the game. 32-19 now, Tenafly on top, 5:15 left to go in the third quarter. I'm Dan Long, so glad they could join myself, Dimitri Nanis, and our camera operator, Renee Matisich, on our Fort Lee broadcast. Jelly drains a pair. This extends the lead to 33-19. Jelly now with a game-high 8 for the Tigers at Tenafly. Ogadegbe over to Stang. How can Stang get into this defense and become a facilitator if his shot from the outside is not falling? He's the best dribbler on this team. Just can't get by. You can see the help defense there. He's being funneled into the double team. There's the cutter across the foul line as Gaykin. Back to Stang, across into the corner. Here's Jang for 3, no good. Ogadegbe with the offensive rebound. He misses the putback. Garcia gets stripped on his way up. Missed opportunity there on offense and a couple of bunny attempts inside. Now in the open floor, Regev with the mid-range finish. He's got 4. 35-19. Tenafly really frustrating Fort Lee here tonight. Jang off the dribble. Into the corner for Stang. He lines it up for 3. Hits the rim twice, but can't fall. Mugello with a rebound as the 6'8 forward has come in off the bench. He had a very productive first half. Roberts all over the place there. Nearly got it to drop, though. He's got some wiggle in his approach. Jang being harassed on defense now by Roberts. Ogadegbe lines it up for 3. No good off the back iron. Again, just like the temperature outside, Fort Lee is frigid from 3. Jang, that was halfway down, and it doesn't go. If I had to guess, Fort Lee, I would say, is somewhere close to 2 for 15, 2 for 16 from 3 here tonight. Spinning move, jumper doesn't go that time. For Regev. Gaykin jumps and pops, contorts his shots, and that was the case of the 6'8 junior getting in the way. And the hustle play now in the possession back to Tenafly. 2:45 and counting left to go here in the third. All Tigers on the road, leading 35-19 in this big-time showdown in the Big North Conference. Roberts slipped on a wet spot near midcourt. Still recovered possession. Benowitz. Across the lane, that shot, a brick. Doesn't draw iron. Here's Stang. See Tenafly getting back quickly on defense. No chances at transition points. And the easy buckets for Fort Lee get them back in the game. Stang across the middle. Gets it up top, in and out. Garcia again hounding his way underneath for the offensive hustle rebound. And Greg Garcia will draw the foul. The first foul of the second half for Tenafly. And that'll send the senior big man to the line for the Bridgman, shooting 2. Garcia rattles in the first foul shot. He has been the best Bridgman player by far here tonight. 8 points in the game for Garcia. Working on another potential double-double in this game. Garcia knocks down a pair. 3 for 5 at the line here tonight. He's got a game-high 9 for Fort Lee. No one in double digits yet. On either side, it's been balanced scoring for both teams. Jelly pops it out into the corner. High arcing 3, no good. Ogadegbe tried to win that tip. But Lugello, the 6'8 forward, won it. Errant pass. Intercepted by Ogadegbe. Bem in the open floor, giving it to Isaiah Stang. Xavier Martinez. He's been a lethal three-point shooter. Stang thought about a NBA distance three. Stang giving it over now to Martinez. Now to Gakian. Under 90 seconds left to go. Stang measures it up and knocks it down. For Isaiah Stang, his second three of the game. He's now got 6 points. And will that be the momentum shot that Fort Lee is so desperately looking for? The lead is back to 11 with a quick timeout called here late in the third quarter. 35-24. The lead for Tenafly in a low-scoring affair between these two top 25 teams. Fort Lee taking on Tenafly here tonight. Tenafly went 5-4 in last year's shortened season. In their last full season, the Tigers went 10-11 overall in the 2019-2020 season, so they are red hot at the start of this year, going 6-1 in their first 7 contests of the season, trying to stretch their win streak to 6 in a row with a win here on the road tonight. And for Fort Lee, they're playing their best basketball since they finished 14-13 in the 2018-19 season. It's the most wins by the Bridgemen since that season when they collected 14. They're looking for win number 11 against a very tough opponent here tonight in Tenafly. Fort Lee has been 3-point happy here this evening. The problem is that with all those shot attempts, they have only managed to produce 3 made threes in this game. Tenafly has only knocked down 1. That's kind of away from the script that they've enjoyed in the last couple of games, as Tenafly has knocked in and produced 9 3-pointers in each of their last 2 games, wins against Oltapan and Highlands. So after the timeout, it's going to be inbounds into the hands of Ben Roberts, the senior point guard. Roberts with 7 points in the game. Regev. Oh, what a spin move! Past a couple of defenders for the layup. Regev with 6 points here in the game, 4 of which in this third quarter. Jang across the middle. Isaiah Stang saved it from going out of bounds as a turnover. Gakian, kick out. Here's a corner 3. There's a 3 for Devin Jang. His first made 3 of the game, 24th of the season for the sophomore. Now Fort Lee starting to get hot. Their last 2 made threes and the last 2 3-point attempts. Back to a 10-point lead, 37-27. 30 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Up top, Regev. Holding the ball as he's being watched by Garcia. Benowitz. Nice crossover, lost his balance, still got it off in time to his teammate who knocks down the 3, Regev. What a big quarter there in quarter number 3 for the senior from Tenafly. 9 points in the game, 7 of which in that third quarter alone. And that was a big momentum-killing shot for Tenafly. That's the second consecutive quarter that's seen the Tigers knock down a 3-ball right before the buzzer sounded when Fort Lee was trying to mount a comeback. Now they're going to trail by 13 heading into the start of the fourth quarter of play here from East Gym. Tenafly on top of Fort Lee, 40-27. Don't go anywhere as we'll be bringing you all the action to get us started for the fourth quarter here on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Welcome back as we're about to get the fourth quarter of play underway. Tenafly clutch shooting has been the story in this game. And defensively, they have held Fort Lee to only 27 total points through the first 3 quarters of play. Tigers trying to go to 7-1 on the season with a win on the road here against Fort Lee. First matchup between these schools since February 16th, 2017. Roberts, as they have a couple of handoffs to begin this first possession of the fourth quarter. Shelley operating up top. Regev came alive in that third quarter after having only 2 points in the entire first half. The leading scorer for Tenafly striking for 7 in that third quarter, including the 3 to beat the buzzer. Roberts shadowed by Jang. Roberts trying to go backdoor, intercepted right underneath the basket by Rafi Gakian. Good anticipation on defense. Now how can Fort Lee get things going here to high clip on this end of the floor? Gakian out of control, missing that shot. Garcia once again following a miss, attacking the glass, and now once again will earn a chance at the line for 2. As Lugello disrupted that first shot attempt by Gakian and then was called for the foul on the ensuing shot attempt by Garcia. For Lugello, his first foul. And Greg Garcia, who's not really known as a great foul shooter, shooting 53% from the line this season. He's knocked down his last 4 in a row. Garcia now in double digits in this game. Knocking it down again. He's got a game-high 11. Full court pressure being displayed by Coach Schrager's Bridgman. Down by 11, 40-29. Fort Lee has held all of their opponents here at home to under 55 points at East Gym, but that's in danger of falling. Nice layup attempt there and conversion by Tenafly. Here's Stang. Stang will pull it out. Bodied off by Roberts. Now back to Jang. Isaiah Stang with only 6 points in this game. Ogadegbe. And that's going to be an offensive foul against Bem Ogadegbe. That's been an Achilles heel for him of late. He's been guilty of using that free arm to push off defenders, and that time Roberts did a good job of selling it as well. For Ogadegbe, that's going to be his first personal foul. Team's second. Home run pass down the other way for Tenafly. They get it in time. Blocked off the glass by Garcia. But the follow-up is put home once again by Chelly. Fort Lee got the block they were looking for, but the hustle play by Chelly cleaned it up. Garcia maneuvers inside. He's got a game-high 13 for the Bridgman. 44-31. Fort Lee cannot afford to trade baskets, though. They got to make plays on defense. Trying to put the full court pressure in front of Roberts. Roberts does a great job of getting past the timeline. How he holds on to it despite the double team in the corner. Here's a 3 in the far side, no good. Tipped out, Regev up and under. Tipped out again, Stang with the loose ball. Here comes Isaiah Stang the other way. Up and under, draws the contact, no call. He's slow to get to his feet, we play on. Fort Lee faithful not happy at that no call, and that leads to a transition bucket the other way for Benowitz. Jang quickly fires for 3, no good. Karam's out on the far side for Isaiah Stang. Inside to Gakian. Ogadegbe, good penetration, and that time gets the floater to fall. That's what Fort Lee has been so desperately looking for in this game, attacking inside the zone. And finding those opportunities, they've been settling for too many threes. And that's led to Tenafly's success on D. A quick timeout taken. 46-33, the lead for the Tenafly Tigers. Look at the road ahead for Tenafly. After this one, they'll head back home to host Bergenfield in a Big North National Division showdown before taking on Dwight Morrow on January 22nd on the road, and then we'll travel to Montvale to take on St. Joe's Regional on the 25th. For Fort Lee, their road ahead, they'll travel to Montvale to take on Pascack Hills on the 20th before coming back home to host the Rams of Ramsey on January 25th. That'll be the next Fort Lee boys basketball game that you can see here on our Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Before then, they will travel to take on Westwood and then begin the month of February on the road against Paramus Catholic. Ogadegby with that last layup, his first point since the first quarter. He's got 7 in the game for the Bridgemen. But again, this is where Fort Lee's got to step it up defensively. 4:48 remaining. Lead is 13. Tenafly has been in control throughout the majority of this game. Roberts handed the basketball. He can move on the baseline if he wants. He gets it in. Full court pressure being displayed out of the timeout by Fort Lee. Roberts has been such a sturdy point guard. Doesn't make that many mistakes, facilitates the offense, and also has knocked down shots when called upon. Working around the perimeter. Now here's Chelly. Chelly with the left hand goes right down Broadway for the uncontested layup. Help defense never came for Fort Lee. 48-33, lead back to 15 for Tenafly. Ogadegby out of control, throws that one up to the rim. That had no chance. And Ogadegby now with the frustration foul. He'll pick up his second foul of the game. And that'll be foul number 3 on Fort Lee here in the second half. Closing in on the midway point of the fourth quarter, 4:07 left to go in the fourth. Here's a long ball, touchdown pass attempt, and Shelley again, easy pickings. 16 in the game now for number 12 in black and orange. Now a 17-point deficit facing Fort Lee. 3:50 left to go in the quarter. Drive and dish, and that pass is going to be whistled as a foul against Tenafly on the floor. As that foul will be going against Roberts. It'll be his second, only the team's third of the second half. Ogadegby giving it now to the near side, or the far side, I should say, from our vantage point. Here's Stang, and he knocks down his third 3 of the game. Isaiah Stang, second on the team with made 3s on the season now with 22. 50-36. Tenafly looking like a very dangerous team coming into this gym here today. As it works around the perimeter, here's Roberts running some clock. Across the lane and leaning in, no good. Tip up on the follow-up is no good. And that's going to be last touch off of Tenafly. They're also going to whistle a foul going over the back that time against John Shelley, his second, team's fourth. 3:02 left to go here in the fourth quarter of play. Fort Lee's 6-game win streak in danger of being snapped here at the hands of a red-hot Tenafly team. Both these teams might be participating in the Bergen Jamboree tournament. Members of the committee in attendance to watch this one. Ogadegby contorting the body but missing that off-balance shot inside the lane. John Shelley has taken over this game in the fourth quarter for Tenafly. Here he is now, watched by Ogadegby. Tenafly content with running some clock. Newman up top, pressed away. Deflected into the backcourt, and a timeout granted to Coach Jeff Kohler as things were getting mucked up on the offensive end of the floor for the Tigers. That'll stop the clock with 2:25 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Tenafly in control, 50-36 over Fort Lee. Trying to go to 7-1 on the season. In looking at the power points for North 1 Group 3, as I mentioned earlier on in our broadcast, Fort Lee was actually checked in as number 1. They've also played more games than other teams. That one of the reasons and one of the rationales for why the Bridgemen, despite their 10-3 record, were in first place. Fort Lee, Wayne Valley, Ramapo, Wayne Hills, Morris Knolls, and Tenafly, the top 6 teams in the bracket. But in talking to Coach Schrager before today's game, he was saying this is where we're going to really find out the mettle of his team in the next couple of games. Tenafly here tonight, traveling to Pascack Hills in a tough one in their next game on Thursday night. Coming back here to host Ramsey, taking on Westwood and Paramus Catholic then on the road. So after they've been enjoying a lot of home games here at East Gym, the road is going to be a tough one here in the next couple games for the Bridgemen. Matchup of 2 first-place teams in their respective divisions. Tenafly right now enjoying this one. Coming up on just over 2 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. Roberts nearly got his pocket picked by Ogadegby, but he'll get called for the reach-in foul, and for Bem, that's going to be foul number 3. All 3 of his fouls coming here in the fourth quarter. 4th team foul against Fort Lee. 2:12 left to go in regulation. Roberts over to the near side. Newman. Now to Chelly into the far side. Chelly across the lane, and he gets the step again. He has had countless number of layups here in the fourth quarter. 18 in the game for number 12. Isaiah Stang trying to body up the defender, and it's going to be a held ball, jump ball. Great hustle play there by Roberts, not falling for the shake and bake that Isaiah Stang has to offer. It's been that type of night for this Bridgeman offense that has been held in check here by Tenafly. Jang lost it in the transfer. Still possession here. Isaiah Stang pulls back for 3, no good. Roberts secures the loose ball rebound. Under 90 seconds now left to go in the fourth quarter, as Tenafly is in position to salt this one away. What an impressive performance on the road again for the Tigers. First time getting to see them in person, and they're the real deal, folks. They run solid offensive sets, and their defense has definitely been impressive. And there's Regev soaring to the hoop. 11 points there for Regev. Under a minute now left to go in the game. 54 points in this game for Tenafly. And there's a step back 3 for Ogadegby. Ogadegby's second made 3 of the game. He's got 10 points. And Shelley is fouled with 38.5 seconds left to go, and Ogadegby now picking up his 4th personal foul. And they'll sub Ogadegby out of this game as Coach Schrager will go to his bench, bring on some reserves, and pretty much put up the white flag. His team has been bettered by Tenafly here tonight. Fort Lee played much more like Bridgeman offense in the second half, but still just could not corral defensively Tenafly here tonight. Whenever Tenafly really wanted to run their sets and get something easy, they did. They did not even have to settle for taking deep threes, which is what Tenafly's defense did to Fort Lee. Good trap in the corner, but then they're going to whistle a foul late in that possession when it looked like Tenafly was in danger of turning it over. .4 seconds left to go here in the fourth quarter as Gakian picks up the personal foul, his 3rd, as the Patrons start to file their way out of East Gym. Loose ball on the floor as now some of the reserves for Tenafly have come into the game. We'll see if they'll attempt a shot. Again, no team has scored over 55 points against Fort Lee on the road here tonight. Tenafly with sportsmanship may elect to just not take a shot, so they'll stay and be content with a 54-39 win on the road here at Fort Lee in a game that had a lot of interest based on how well both teams have been playing so far this season. So the season-high 6-game win streak for Fort Lee is snapped here at home by Tenafly. Tenafly will extend their own win streak to 6 straight W's and will improve to 7-1 on the season. Fort Lee with the defeat will fall to 10-4 overall. Again, Tenafly will be next at home against Bergenfield on the 20th, while Fort Lee will next be in action on Thursday night at Pascack Hills. Our next Fort Lee Bridgman boys basketball game will come on January 25th as Fort Lee will play host to the Rams of Ramsey High School. Leading scorer here tonight for Fort Lee was Greg Garcia with 13 points. Bem Ogadegbe had 10 points as the second leading scorer. So again, a tough one here tonight against a very good Tenafly team. We'll see if Fort Lee can bounce back on the road against Pascack Hills next time out on Thursday. So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning into our broadcast here on YouTube, courtesy of the Fort Lee Athletic Department. Special thanks to our producer, Dimitri Nanis, our camera operator, Renee Matisich, and I'm Dan Long saying so long from East Gymnasium. You've been watching Fort Lee boys basketball here on YouTube. Take care, everybody.